What's going on, guys? Antonio here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up for me, and let's get into it. All right, so we're we're in the first 24 hours of the release of Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. And so wanted to see how it was stacking up to the first release. So I headed over to Rotten Tomatoes, and as you can see here on your screen, oh boy, it is not faring well. So we have a 17% review on for the critics' tomato meter, and it is sitting at 44% from the audience. So neither one of those, obviously, if you dip below 50%, it is considered rotten, or I think it's 59% and lower is rotten. And but yeah, it's at 44%, and I suspect that number will continue to go down. Like I said, this is the first day of the release. I have not watched The Scargiver yet, but that will change. I am planning. I don't think my wife is interested in sitting through this part. We watched part 1 together, and she wasn't impressed. So most likely, I am going to be piloting this ship solo. But I'm a completionist, so I have to watch The Scargiver. The only beam of hope that I have is, what was it, about a month and a half ago, Zack Snyder was on the Joe Rogan Experience, and he mentioned that something I did not know was that there's R-rated versions of Rebel Moon Part 1 and Part 2 coming. This Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, as you can see on your screen here, it is a PG-13 release. When he pitched this idea to Netflix, they were concerned because it was, they spent a couple $100 million putting both of these films together. And he said, for them to justify the expenses, they wanted to at least make sure that it could be viewed by as many people as possible. So they insisted that both of these movies be PG-13. Now, Zack wasn't overly thrilled about doing PG-13. This was supposed to be R-rated Star Wars. If you know the history of Rebel Moon, both of these films were supposed to be a Star Wars film that had gotten greenlit, and then Disney decided to back off of that project. He still owned the script, so he changed certain things that would obviously cause some legal issues with Lucasfilm and Disney. So he changed some stuff in his script, and this is how we ended up getting Rebel Moon. He took it over to, he took it over to Netflix, and they gave him a couple $100 million to make both of these films. Now, the viewers on the first half of Rebel Moon, he was saying on Joe Rogan, that they got within the first month or something, they got over 90 million viewers to watch Rebel Moon. But the reviews on it were atrocious. The critic reviews were atrocious. The fan reviews were atrocious. When he told Joe that after both of these PG-13 versions were released, the Snyder cut versions were going to be released, and they will be fully R-rated, I got excited because I want to see what these are. Like I said, I did not love Rebel Moon Part 1, so I suspect I'm not going to love The Scargiver either. However, I do want to see the R-rated versions. I want to see what's going on with it. So that's what I'm interested in. But yeah, let me actually click on the ratings because I want to see what people are saying. Okay, so this guy's giving it a 5-star. One of Snyder's best, considered his budget, and I'm glad he can open this up further with his own IP. Can't wait for the next one. I've watched this 3 times. What? That's got to be a bot. You watch this movie's, it's only 2 hours and something long. Can't wait for the director's cut. Now, that's what I said. Okay, that's in Spanish. I can't read it. Joyful watching. Who needs to look so deep into things as to compare with all the stories before? Okay, this person is definitely giving it a 1-star, slightly above average popcorn movie with nice action and beautiful CGI. Nothing special. to better or worse. Okay, as someone who didn't like part one of Rebel Moon, I think with this movie, Zack Snyder, misspelled his name, redeemed himself, in my opinion, even though the first 40 minutes of the movie felt like a drag, but it paid off in the last hour and 20 minutes. What most critics are missing is that part one and two are an introduction to a major story that cannot be told in a two-part movie. I'm curious to know what more stories that Rebel Moon universe holds. Okay, well, like I said, obviously, some people are starting to comment back, but yeah, it's got over 100 reviews. Mostly are negative, 1, 2 stars. And like I said, obviously you see the critics' reviews and they are not being very kind. But I am going to, before the weekend is out, I am going to watch The Scargiver. But what I am looking forward to is later in the summer when we get the R-rated versions of both of these films. And then, because it's the same thing with the Justice League. They gave that Justice League, when they did the Snyder cut extended version of the Justice League, it broke all kind of records and people were like, this is what we wanted to see. Yeah, and I mean, I understand the movie was like almost 4 hours long, but it had a lot of cool stuff in there that I really enjoyed. But if you have already watched The Scargiver, if you're planning on it, if you hated the first movie, I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Get in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a follow. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. I'm on Threads. All at Ikari Press. If you type in IkariPress.com, it will take you to my comic book brand, Way of the Gun. Got the link to my Gumroad in the description as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. We want you here. Please subscribe. I'm out.